Welcome to the show. It's deep with the twist. We're laughing through the scriptures where humor coexists. Cultural, come on and take a seat. It's faithful and it's fun wherever it meets feet. Dive into the stories, hear the podcast call. It's Mormon stuff with a smile in the cultural hall.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall. It is an Articles of News episode. Hear Him episodes on the way. They're recorded. I just need to edit them up
nice.
together. Mr. Mayor has come back. We talk about 3 hymns as we
Fabulous.
make our way through the new hymns for home and church and family, and on the car ride and in an elevator and with your friends and family. That's what it's called in the app, but I think they just abbreviate it to hymns for home and church.
I love it.
So interview episodes coming as well. Check this out. One of the ones that I'm doing, I need to give a shout out to Trent Passy, I think is how you say his last name. It may be Passe. But Trent over at Koford Books dropped this book, a little love book to me the other day. It's Imagining and Reimagining the Restoration.
Reimagining.
Yeah, by Robert Reese. So looking forward to having that interview because as you did, so did I. Reimagining. So we'll talk
That's
about
cool.
that.
I like that. Yeah.
And it's a cool book cover. So shout out to the folks
Oh, it is. It
at
is.
Koford Books. Kind of a mystical
Sun, moon, and stars.
Yeah. For those that are listening and not watching on our YouTube channel,
You got to check it out.
ring the bell. I'm pointing.
Push the
different
follow button
Just
down here
subscribe.
somewhere.
Almost to 1,000, and then we start making money, and we've made the commitment to just put the money back into making it so that it's not so terrible. So,
Oh, you're backing off on my salary again?
yeah, well, blessings in heaven. I can't ever. You get all the blessings already. Just for
that's
being
true.
You. Just
It's
for being
amazing.
you.
Yeah.
Just for being you, Verlin.
Yeah. They flow
what's
like
new?
crazy.
What's new with you?
Oh gosh, what's new with the Youd family? Serious construction has started. Hammers, I can't vouch. There may be noises in the background. There's a
insist
tractor.
I insist.
There's all kinds of stuff going on outside at the moment. Today we got our family pictures back that we had taken at the beach trip a few weeks ago. That's always entertaining.
Pause. Did you do shoes off at the beach?
Of course we did.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there was even in the water pictures as well.
Is there topless Verlin pictures?
There are no topless Verlin pictures. Thank
Hallelujah.
goodness.
That is something that no one needs.
No one needs to imagine it either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not imagine it. Imagining is fine.
I threw all my European swimsuits away as well. So
Is a European swimsuit no swimsuit or just barely enough to cover anything?
it's kind of the mini Speedo version, right?
Yeah, okay.
I swam in high school. We had to wear Speedos.
Oh, yeah?
Little secret for those that swim. I don't know if they still do this, but they were made with such thin material that I had to wear 2 or 3
Okay.
to make sure that you couldn't see more than you wanted to see at a swim meet.
Well, but I imagine not everyone did that. So did you
Most
see more than you
every
wanted
guy.
to see?
Yeah, most every guy wore 2 or 3.
Now, are we talking about like a shadow and or silhouette, or is it like the Lululemon pants of a decade ago where you went, oh my gosh, there's
It
nothing.
was the Lululemon of a decade ago.
Oof, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The joke was we had to give our waist size to our coach first part of the season. He would order the suits. He would always order them one size smaller than you told him.
Okay.
And so we had to protect ourselves and go out and buy 2 or 3 more. And just to make sure we didn't get cited for public indecency.
Would that happen?
No, just kidding.
No. But it was a thing where you went, it is indecent.
Yeah, we didn't want to be going there.
Well, I'd love to see a picture of it. The one time I forgot to bring the extra 2. Verlin?
I am so glad my yearbooks, this is the one circumstance where I'm glad my high school yearbooks were all lost when my parents moved from California to Utah during my mission.
So there are pictures in existence.
There are pictures in existence of me in a Speedo. Yeah.
From high school in what year? At what high school?
It would have been 1982, Washington High School in Fremont, California.
Okay.
And my password and social security number are, no, never mind.
A positive. And, so I know that there are people that like to do stuff like this. I'll throw it in the the Cultural Hall Back Row Facebook group as well.
Mm.
I know that there are people that like to find things like this, so I cannot wait for this to be discovered and then emailed to
I
me.
hope so. I hope so.
culturalhall.com.
I've looked for it online, and I'm not able to find that year and that edition. There's a rather what's the right word? Infamous team photo from
Okay.
the high school swim team that year as well, which has gained a great bit of notoriety because of certain occurrence happening in the photo that no one paid attention to, and it made its way into print. And
Oh no.
my friend Mike McBride was exposing, let's just say, a full moon approach to
Oh
to the
no.
picture.
That would never get through nowadays. Never. That's hilarious. Good for
It
Mike
made it all
McBride.
the way. Yeah. Hope Mike's
My
not listening. Well, hope
my
he is, but hope he's not embarrassed by what I just said.
Oh, it's fine. Mike's fine. Mike knows he wouldn't have
Mike's good.
I think it was my sophomore year, but maybe my junior year, yearbook day, because they do the day where they're all the clubs, right? It's the finance club, come down and get your photo, and then it's the racketeering club and
The chess club,
whatever, right?
the 4-H.
Yeah, there was a year that I tried to just stick around and sneak into
Oh, that's
all of the
awesome.
club photos.
Uh-huh.
And every time I did, I offered a fake name, an alias, a nonsensical thing. And so
But each one wasn't connected. You didn't kind of use the same
no,
letters or
no, no,
use
no, 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 no.
Oh.
So you see me, it must have been my sophomore year because I had hair down to my chin and
Okay.
just you know, kind of sideshow Bobby hair.
Nice.
And I would be in these clubs, and like I was in the Asian American club, and just these different things that, like, not that I couldn't be in the Asian American club, but using that as an example of, like, one of these kids is clearly not like the rest of these kids.
Right.
And
Right.
then I would put a fake name in the thing, but because they only would take one shot, they couldn't not have me be in the photo, so they just attributed it to Phil Evans was one of the ones I know that I used, and so you go through the yearbook, and there's ones that only have the one page that he's in, and most of them are my aliases.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Was it, or was
Great.
I just being a
It's awesome.
kid?
You're being a punk, but being a punk is kind of awesome. In high school,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be a punk, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore. That's just the way it is.
Well, let me take you here. Senior year, this is what I did. Yeah, on the TV series MASH, we've talked about how I have the
Sure.
ability for that. The last week of school as a senior doesn't matter at all.
No, not at all. I don't even know why they do it, only because there has to be a last week, and you're going to ruin the last week no matter what.
Yeah, otherwise, if you don't have the last week, then you have the second to last week, which becomes the last week, and then that's the last week, and then
Right.
infinite. We got a couple of those old lawn chairs, the ones that had the weaving that would always break. You'd always
Webbing.
put your fist-
I love
webbing.
it. Yeah.
We got a couple of those, and me and my friend, we sat in our bathrobes and had martini glasses that we poured water into, and sat and welcomed people to school on the last week of school, and
That's awesome.
sort of cosplayed Hawkeye Pierce from.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't have a Hot Lips Houlihan join you?
Well, we tried. We tried to have a Hot Lips, but in typical.
Good thing you recovered later in life.
Yeah, in a typical Hot Lips, she wanted nothing to do with us. So construction full mode. We're going after it. That's
We're
where
going
we
after
to
it.
the beach in your banana hammock and everything like that.
Mm.
Anything else exciting going on?
What else exciting is going on? We did a little trip between the last time we recorded a week ago, and now we took a trip with some friends who happen to own a private plane.
Wow.
And we flew from North Carolina up to New York City and flew very low along the Hudson River. We were lower than the tops of the skyscrapers.
Jeez.
And flying close, and had a beautiful view, and went up and down the river a couple of times, and then landed in Philadelphia so that we could go to the Philadelphia Temple and enjoy ourselves there.
How was it?
It was beautiful. It was wonderful. Yeah. Kudos to the staff of the Philadelphia Temple. What a great job.
I've been there one time, and the visitors center, when I went there, because there's that kind of building that's adjacent to it.
Right.
No one was there. I was
Yeah.
trying to talk to someone, and I went in, and I was like, hello, and I ran the hallway and went into the bathroom. Couldn't find anyone.
They
Not
heard
a
you were
single one.
coming.
Yeah. Thanks. Probably. They're like,
Yeah,
guys,
probably.
hide.
Were you there for that? Was that for the podcasters conference?
Yes, it was for
Yeah.
the
So
podcast.
so they probably heard that you were rooming with somebody else, and they
Yeah.
really didn't want to have to deal with that.
Get out of here. Did you run the rock? The right by the Philadelphia Temple is the Rocky Stairs. Did you go do the Rocky Stairs?
We did not. We didn't have the time to
Did
be
you
able
go
to
to
do
the
it. We were
other
on a schedule.
religious buildings there that are
We
right in the
walked. We
neighborhood?
walked past them, admired them from the outside.
Aren't they incredible?
They are. They're beautiful. It's
Was
gorgeous.
Philadelphia still trashy?
It wasn't too bad, actually.
Good. I hope they
There was
cleaned it up a
still a
little bit.
little bit of homelessness around, but we didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
Nobody accosted us like your first Philadelphia
When I
experience.
got jumped in the city of Brother.
Exactly.
The irony is.
Yeah,
full.
we did have to walk through the rain to get some ice cream the one evening.
Yeah, you have
but,
to.
But Van Leuven's ice cream is well worth it. So
If I can be honest with you, the traveling in a small plane, I had the anxiety for you. I would imagine you didn't.
not at all.
You know how you always hear member of the church in a plane over the. I was like, I swear, if this happens, he didn't need to go.
It would have been my time. No, my pilot Ward Sachs and Tracy, his beautiful wife, came along with us. We do this regularly. He is the most. What's the right word? I'll use a big word. Fastidious.
Oh.
He is the most detail-oriented, well-planned, organized pilot I've ever met in my life, and we've been flying with them for years, and he still goes through 100% of the same checklist he goes through every single flight.
I hope so. Jeez.
He does an awesome job at it. Yeah.
And his name's what again?
Ward Sachs,
And is he-
SAX.
SA. Okay, I was going to say, is he Fifth Avenue or is he Goldman? And he's neither.
Neither one.
He's
No,
yakety.
no. That's right. Yep. Grew up in Weber County, I believe.
Oh, get out. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I have to. I don't want to brag.
Please
but
do.
I'm gonna take a quick second and brag.
You need to.
Because I don't brag very often.
Are you going to brag about the beautiful shirt you're wearing right now?
Isn't this a good looking shirt?
It's a good looking shirt.
Thank you very much.
That looks like you may have been at an event earlier today.
I was. That's actually where I was leading. I appreciate where you were going with that. I'm dressed in all blacks. That's what you do when you do events for corporations.
When you do a very snooty event for
Yeah. It was Nordstrom quarterly something. And
I guess it's past the half yearly sale, isn't it?
yeah,
Isn't that in
the
July?
anniversary sale, they crushed it. We're in the Northwest region here, and I don't know. It's a bunch of stuff that I'm just the guy who rallies the music and is like, yeah, because that's what they want. 7 a.m.
Our comp sales were up.
let's go.
Our,
Yeah.
Inventory turns. We got this many
Are we
signups of
greeting
the
people
loyalty.
at the door?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. And it's 7 a.m. and it is, as the kids would say, a vibe you have to get on board with automatically. I don't feel it. I'm not that guy. But after an Adderall, a caffeine pill, and a Red Bull Deep, I can rally that crowd. And boy, if we can do that today.
Can't wait for the crash.
Yeah. Well, that'll happen this afternoon. And one day, and it's prescription, everybody. Back down. Back
Of
down.
course.
Not the
Well, we just
caffeine,
studied the word of wisdom and come follow me, right? People
sure.
lighten up a little bit. If you're going to criticize Richie, time to eat a little less meat, my friends.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't even eat meat anymore much, people. And if Emma would have prayed and said, "Hey, no more Red Bulls," I wouldn't drink them. But she didn't. So I don't smoke and I don't drink coffee. What a ridiculous comparison. I love that. So check this out. Got a little love letter here from the folks at Nordstrom. I should cover that up. I don't want to be braggadocious about it.
Oh.
But it says, and it's backwards in the camera, obviously, but I'll read it to everyone. To the
It's beautiful here.
DJ
We can
in
see
Utah, thank you for your, man, I can't read back.
High energy and
High
good
energy
vibes.
and good vibes. Boom. From the
Nordstrom Market. Nice.
And then they gave me a little gift card.
Beautiful.
I mean, they're giving away the company's money, not their own money, so I appreciate it. But look at that.
It's real money.
Even but I mean, it didn't come out of the pockets of anyone, but look at that.
No.
Yep.
Came out of the pockets of the owners.
Yes, which I didn't know, and then we can be done with this opening exercise, is Pete Nordstrom, one of the Nordstroms, in a band.
Oh, really? What band is he in?
It's in a band called Stag.
Ah, nice.
They're
Good name, too.
They're up in Washington in the Pacific Northwest.
I would think
It's
somewhere
another
near
band.
Seattle where headquarters is.
Yes, yep. And he was also in a band called Tuffy, Tuffy, which I sort of chuckled about.
I thought
Here's
that was a bike manufacturer when I was a kid.
I think that's probably where they got it, because naming a band is impossible.
Maybe they were an 80s cover band at the time.
Could have been. Or just an 80s band.
Could have been.
No, Huffy was the bicycle brand.
I think there was a Tuffy, which was a knockoff of Huffy as well.
For real?
Yeah, I think, and Huffy was originally a knockoff of Schwinn.
Yeah, okay. And then there was the Muffy, which was for women or mice that always spoke in rhyme. That's all that is right there. Miss Muffy. Don't
Exactly.
You are
sat on her tuffet.
That is on you. That is not on me.
It is all yours. Own that, my friend.
I did not do that. I reject that, mainly because I didn't actually mean that. People are like, what are they talking about? It's a news episode. We should probably do news. We've got sports news. I know lots of people that listen to this aren't necessarily sports fanatics, but Verlin won't shut up about it. So we'll start with sports and then we'll get into the other news. Anything else before we take a break, my friend?
No, I think we're good.
Let's take a break. When we come back in the second half, it's actual articles of news. Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company, now 6 of us strong, great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie, I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do actual articles of news. Hit it, Peter Breinholt, one of the first guests of the Cultural Hall.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. So, what sports? Just do it. Put us out of our misery.
Yeah, a couple of cool things going on at BYU sports. They chose a quarterback, and for the first time ever, BYU will have an Asian American starting quarterback.
So you are a sports fanatic, and
A
especially
bit.
one of the Brigham Young type.
Brigham Young and UNC Tar Heels, yeah.
What inappropriate, so socially uncomfortable nickname will we give our Asian American football
It's hard to
player?
give him a nickname because his given first name is a nickname. It's Bear.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be about the puns, all the
Okay.
terrible, ridiculous, barely there,
Yeah.
bare-chested, bare-chested,
Yep.
Whatever, bareback
You
rider.
Go down in
you
the
know.
woods today. You better not go alone. I love that. If that's his
Yeah.
walkout song,
Oh, that'd be pretty funny.
I
Well,
guess-
they don't have walkouts for
I was just going to
football,
say,
right?
I guess
It's a
football.
good baseball thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they did walkouts for football, there's 100 guys. It's like, guys, just go to the field.
Just stop. Yeah. No, so
Okay.
that's pretty exciting. It's also very rare to have a starting freshman quarterback of a Division I well-known football team.
Sure.
So that's notable as well. And they've got what looks to be a pretty stacked team. Amazing consistency from last year to this year. And where they had holes, they've plugged them with, in my view, actually better players than they had last year. So I actually have as high of an expectation this year as I did last year.
Are we
for
going
the team.
bowling, as the kids say? Are we going bowling?
Yes, we'll go bowling for sure. We'll have a 6+ season. The argument, I guess, Vegas right now is projecting 8.5 wins for the season,
Okay.
which I think is a little high. But I'm guessing
Boo.
I'm guessing they could 8 is a good number, and if they get lucky, 9 to 10.
I don't even know how many they play. How many do they play?
I think they'll end up playing 12 games plus a bowl game. And if they were, knock on wood, able to go to the playoff, then maybe an extra game or two after that.
Okay.
So yeah, should have a decent football team. The other interesting piece of news is something happened just this past week that rarely happens, and that is the women's soccer team not only came back to win a game when they were down 1-0, but they did it with one less player than usually on the field.
How does that work?
Well, about 2/3 of the way through the first half, one of their players received a red card.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that means
That's
that
right.
you remove the player and you can't replace them. And so they played the rest of the game with 10 players. They
Jeez.
were down 1-0 and they won 3-1.
Jeez. In
So
soccer, is
amazing
there a
performance.
penalty box like hockey where they just are
There is
yelling
not.
and
No.
they
Once you're
wait
red
for the
carded,
time?
you're out. Yeah, you don't get to come back in.
What about yellow card? Is there a penalty box for a yellow card? Count
I
down the
don't know
time
what the
like in
penalty is
hockey.
for you.
3, 2, 1, and then the
No, but
person comes out.
in lacrosse, they have a penalty box, which is kind of fun because people are in it all the time in lacrosse. It's
There should be
rare
a
that someone
penalty.
is not in the penalty box.
There should be a penalty box for all sports,
That would be great.
except for the
Yeah.
one-on-ones. That would be weird to be like a boxing match or something like that. And the
To be
ones
in the
in
penalty
boxing
box.
are
Yeah,
like-
you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of,
Oh,
are you a WWE fan at all?
not in the least.
Okay, never mind.
Did you have a LDS adjacent?
No, not at all. But
okay.
I watched. If you are a child of a certain generation, raised on WWF at the time, the World Wrestling Federation,
That's
before
right.
the World Wildlife Federation said we're going to sue you, and they said we will become WWE, please and thank you. There is a 5-part series on Netflix. It is not for the childish of ears. But if you are if you have watched wrestling in your life, watching that, I cried.
Oh my gosh.
I literally
Wow.
moved to tears. And here's the deal. It's just, they talk about how they write the stories and you get to know like the person behind the personality
Oh, how
in each
cool.
of those things. And so it's super fun to see some of these things that are happening where you're like, oh, that's scripted, of course. But then you find out it's this guy's entire life goal to have been a part of this thing. And he broke his neck one time, but came back, like literally broke his
gosh.
neck, not like,
Wow.
and then that just reminds me of something real quick that makes me chuckle. So when I was on my mission,
Your 2-year service mission?
my 2-year religiously affiliated vacation. That's what I called it the other day. And the guy was like, mission, right? It was during the time of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he had apparently been, according to the story, like just broken with a folding chair or something like that. And we were at these investigators' houses, these people that were
Friends of the church,
friends
as they
of
say
the church.
nowadays.
Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Okay.
I still can't stop saying investigator.
But we said, hey, as we leave you with the prayers, anything that you would like us to pray for? And straight faced, they said, our friend Stone Cold Steve Austin is in the hospital, and could you please pray for him? And this was not the person, this was the personality that was in the hospital. They're like, he was attacked by a chair, and if you could offer some prayers. And my companion and I, we both look at each other, we're like, I'm doing it 100%. Let's go.
Number one, I'm impressed you did it. Number two, I love that they asked it just straight.
Yes.
Did you find out, were they being serious?
No,
were
no,
they not?
They were
all in.
100% being serious.
Wow.
And so we're like, bless brother. And I remember that the companion said, bless brother Stone Cold Steve Austin, that his body can recover. And I was like, this is it. I'm in for all this.
Well, and after that is when he took the discussions and became a member, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Steve Martin's a state
I
president.
thought I heard about that. Yeah. My cousin's sister's brother told me about that.
Yeah.
Just to wrap up the sports
news?
things, just couple of quick takes. Number one, 15 BYU gymnasts were named as WCGA Scholastic All-Americans.
Jeez.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you got to have grades to do that. I think it was 7 tennis players got similar honors earlier in the season. And BYU is getting a ton of new recruits. They have some new cross country and track athletes that are coming in as rising freshmen that are like national champions, already ranked in the top 5 nationally in collegiate ranks.
Jeez.
They're going to have and then women's volleyball, I believe, is coming in ranked number 1 in preseason polls as well.
Jeez.
So it's going to be a great year for BYU sports.
Incredible. I hope so. And that doesn't even speak at all about basketball. And we got Damianza and the whole crew coming back. I don't know. AJ. That's what I call him.
AJ Debonsa. Yep.
It's funner
and he's getting all the attention, but there's 5 or 6 other guys that are fantastic recruits on the team, let alone Richie.
Yep.
Richie, the Tater Tot Taylor, is going to be awesome this year too.
What I hope, here's my sports take. I hope that they can collaborate as a team and really be able to work together, because it could just be a recipe for disaster.
It
as
could
well.
be. I'm going to be talking to one of my good friends who's an insider with the team, someone you interviewed on the Culture Hall not
Thanks
so
to
long
you.
ago, JT Tavanari. I'm going to be chatting with him tomorrow afternoon, and that's one of my questions for him.
Yeah,
Is what's it looking like?
man, I hope good,
Oh,
because
I hope so too.
we could use a win. Utah could use a win. Please.
Not Utah, BYU. Come
No,
on.
no, no. The state of Utah. We could do
Okay.
something
When you
good
say
out of
Utah
the
and a
state of
win in
Utah.
sports, Maddie, I apologize to all
No.
the Utah grads.
Do not make an assumption that I would ever speak, even though Brigham Young started the University of Utah before he started BYU. That's not
Yep. As many of my friends have told me, the University of Utah is the school of the prophets.
yeah, the Lord's University, if you will.
That's right.
And then the Eastern Carolina tailgate.
Yeah, BYU is going to be visiting Eastern Carolina University for a football game on September 20th, and the Cultural Hall is a sponsor of the tailgate event. So yes, everyone will be gathering. Game time is not yet announced. Tickets for the game just went on sale. East Carolina is being a royal pain in the butt and are not allowing the Cougar Club or the BYU Alumni Association to buy a block of tickets. I think they're afraid of us.
Oh, yeah?
And so they're forcing us all to go buy our own tickets through their regular ticket office.
Lame.
And it's the highest price game of the season
Of course
for
it is.
them.
Yep.
So it's $80 a ticket, regardless of where you sit. There's going to be thousands of BYU fans there. At the tailgate, we're expecting 1,500 to 2,500
My
fans.
gosh.
So you can go online, search for BYU tailgate. One of the important notes to make is every tailgate comes with a huge service project.
Nice.
And this is the case with the ECU game. We're going to be gathering food for ECU's Purple Pantry, which is a food bank that's specifically dedicated to students that are struggling with food security.
Oh, cool.
And
not
so
that, not that students are struggling, but what a great resource.
yeah, so everyone that comes is invited to bring some non-perishable food or hygiene supplies or personal first aid supplies, and we'll make sure they have a well-stocked pantry for a semester or two.
Awesome. Cool. And we'll put details for that in the show notes. Send me that,
Absolutely.
and I'll make sure that it's there so
Okay.
people can check it out.
Great.
Well, boo, East Carolina not being.
This is a revenge game of sorts. The last time BYU came out to ECU pulled out an underdog win, and those of us that live in the Carolinas have not heard an end of it. And so we're hoping to put a statement win on the schedule this year.
Do a little service and then wipe the floor with them.
Exactly. I want a Lavelle Edwards type of win. Kalani Sataki doesn't do this, but Lavelle used to have no problem with 3, 4, 5 touchdowns more than the other team. And I loved scores in the 50s. I loved the 52 to 14 score was awesome.
Well, you try and avoid it, but if you get into like third string and they're still killing them, you can't do anything about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
They start picking people out of the stands. You want to come in? It's fourth quarter. You want
That's
to
right.
come on down?
That's right.
All right. Well, so is that sports? Are we done sports?
I'm good unless you have anything.
No, I got nothing.
Okay.
This is cool. Up in Providence, which if you don't know, that is the Cache Valley. Cache Valley man is auctioning his family's copy of a first edition of the Book of Mormon. Richard Hatch said the book originally was owned by his grandfather, J. Eastman Hatch, and he got it from the Sam Weller in downtown Salt Lake. Originally, there were 5,000 books that were printed. As we know, there are seemingly about 700 left in existence. This will go up on the auction block, and they're thinking probably for this somewhere between $100,000 and $250,000. Here is the moral question for you, Verlin. Grandpa Youd has an old Book of Mormon book, or we don't even have to make it a religious book necessarily.
Right.
Gives it to you, is passed down. You have it. Maybe you're in dire straits. Maybe you just don't want to keep packing it around. Do you sell it or do you hang on to it? Something that valuable.
I guess I would do what Richard Hatch did, which I thought was very wise of him. He went to all of his family and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about selling this book. Is that okay with everyone?" And it sounds like everyone agreed with him that it was time to sell it. So I think that's the right way to do it.
Uh,
If the book had lots of handwritten notes in it, for instance,
sure.
from a family member, then maybe I hold on to it. I think I've spoken to you about a family member that has a book that's something similar to that, which I would love to have in my library, and I would not sell in that case.
Yeah.
But I think this is fine. His grandfather or grandfather bought the book as a collector's item, and they can sell it as a collector's item.
Yeah. I always harken back to when I had to help my great aunt move stuff out and mostly just dispose of all of it.
Hmm.
Unless someone cares, you are the only one who cares. So
That's right.
if you have something worth a lot of money, take care and get that money while you can. Otherwise, pass it along if it's, again, something to my posterity and here's my testimony. Great. Okay. Something like that, sure. But if
Yeah.
it's just a collector's item, cash that out, because otherwise someone will go, "What's this?" Meh, throws it in the garbage, and then everyone goes, "No."
Exactly. Well, and for those that might be interested in acquiring such an item, it's Potter and Potter Auction House out of Chicago that's handling the auction of not only this book, but there's several other collector's items that are being sold at the same time. And so look it up, place your bid if you're interested. The latest bid they publicized was $82,000 is where it stands right now.
Mm-hmm. It's Potter and Potter. Yeah,
Reference. Where does that one come from?
that's it's Marley and Marley from the
Marley. Gotcha.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yep. But
Or Old
arguably
Man
one of the
Potter.
best renditions of the Christmas Carol ever recorded.
Hands down.
I think probably, well, it's one of the top three for sure.
Okay, well, what are the other ones?
I'm not going to
Because
even
I'm a
be
Bill
able to
Murray
say.
guy, and then my best rendition of A Christmas Carol is Mickey, the Mickey Mouse Christmas.
Well, I was going with the famous serious George C. Scott version,
Oh, okay.
which is one of my favorites. And I am with you that the Bill Murray remake, what was the name?
Scrooged.
Scrooged. Oh my gosh, I can watch that over and over again. Yeah,
He's so great.
he's awesome.
Well, we're gonna pave paradise and put up a parking lot. I saw this, and I was reminded as a kid going to the JB's just to the west of Temple Square with my grandparents and all of my cousins. Like when we finally had a contingent of us old enough to be able to go and do baptisms or something, we went and got the breakfast buffet at the JB's
That's awesome.
and just crushed some bacon.
Right next to the Salt Lake Plaza Hotel, which is slated now for demolition.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be turned into a parking lot specifically to be used initially for the Salt Lake City Temple open house and celebration in 2027. And then I don't know if it'll stay a parking lot or not.
No.
Their intention is to landscape it just as they're landscaping the rest of Temple Square. So we'll see what the church does with it then. I have used, isn't this the hotel that has a parking deck attached to it as well?
Yep.
And I've parked in that deck so many times to go to priesthood sessions or other events. So it's time for the Salt Lake Plaza to go. For those of you that have noticed it recently, it was built as one of the nicest hotels in the city. It is no longer one of the nicest hotels in the city.
It's wild though, and think about this, because I think this is where we're sleeping on this just a little bit. The church is going to have so many people come to downtown Salt Lake in 2027 for the temple reopening that we have to demolish a city block
and add more parking.
For parking.
Yeah.
For just the infrastructure of all this. Now, my hope is that Aaron Mendenhall, mayor of Salt Lake City, will sell us West Temple so that the church can get in trouble for buying another main street, and we just make it an open green area to the west like they did to the east.
Oh,
of
that would be cool.
Come on, Aaron Mendenhall.
Wow.
Sell the church.
Well, for those with a little bit of nostalgia that may want to spend another night in the Plaza Hotel, November the 1st is the last day guests will be permitted to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So
you come to Utah in what my wife calls every other week, or is he living in our basement? When you come and stay at the.
Oh, I could do
Plaza
that. Although
Hotel.
they're probably charging too much now.
No,
with all these people. You don't think so?
I don't think they can get away with charging too much at that place. But you
What?
do you do an
Yeah, I can
event
do
at a
it.
Bravenel Hall across the street.
That's true.
You
It's
go do
super
your falls.
convenient to
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
It's a great spot.
But the JBs,
The JB's
I
is
knew it was,
closed.
yeah, I
The
knew it was a
JB's is
downfall
closed.
once they took the JBs out of there. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah. And now the other famous buffet in Salt Lake is gone as well.
not a Chuckaramba. What's the other one?
No, the one at the top of
Oh
the
yeah, the
Joseph
roof.
Smith building or the
Yeah,
old Hotel Utah.
yeah,
That used to have a fantastic
it
buffet.
was great.
That's depressing.
Yeah, you had to get your winter reservations a
Mm,
year in advance to be able to see the Christmas lights down on Temple Square. But now
that's
you
right.
got to pay for entrees only, no buffet.
Take all the fun out of it.
Let's skip the next one that you put in here. I want to go here.
You want
We'll
to
come
skip
back
that
to
one?
we'll come back to it.
Okay.
The garments discussion
Mm,
continues. Mormon women.
yes.
This was an
And
NPR.
we recognize we're two middle-aged white guys talking about garments, one of
Oh,
us
sure.
older than the other.
Uh, did you say one much older than the other?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
well, okay, thank you. Um, appropriate. Here's the thing about it. I don't think that we're talking at all about what this will change for the men, but correct me if I'm wrong. Men will also have smaller sleeved, essentially tank top garment tops.
I had heard about it. I would say essentially muscle shirt garment tops, not tank top,
Yeah.
right?
Fair point. Not like the A shirts, sometimes called wife beaters, inappropriately so.
Yes. But
It's not going to be
I would
like
say
that.
men typically don't have as many challenges, issues, and complaints about garments as women generally do, and I think justifiably so,
Sure.
based on fashion needs. I mean, I wear my crew neck garments all the time.
Sure.
In fact, I'm wearing a pair right now. You can probably see the top of the garment in the neck of my button-up shirt. But other than that, garments haven't had a huge
But it
impact.
will change. That is different for men.
It is.
There's
It
that
is. Yeah.
comical Instagram reel, or maybe it's on TikTok, about the guy rocking the new garments and going into church, and he's rolled up his sleeves and going in. And though I think he probably cut it a little bit too short to like make the point of, hey, this is going to be different. You feasibly could,
You could. Yes.
and
Yeah.
the shame that the older generation of the church will put on anyone who wears that will be
Well, that'll be
unreal.
interesting. That'll be interesting because I was alive when we went from one piece to two piece garments.
Uh-huh.
That was in my lifetime, and thankfully it happened just before I went through the temple for my own endowment. But I honestly didn't hear a lot of people complaining or putting shade on people because they went to the new two-piece garments.
Well, it's different though, because
It is, but it's
because
a big change,
yeah,
and that was a change that people said, "Oh, that's just for convenience. Oh, why are we doing that? We're responding to fashion." But that noise went away incredibly fast.
yeah.
So the question is, what happens here in 5 years? Are we going to be talking about this still or not?
Well, and both the spoken and unspoken amount of the garment line is the modesty line.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That is where we are going to have to come full face and in front on that. And I'm calling. It won't be fall general conference, but it will be next spring general conference. Do not shame people. The idea of modesty is this: it will be a modesty garment heavy general conference. It won't be this fall because they won't have hit the United States as much as they have foreign countries. And if we can make an issue out of anything, that's what we do here in the United States.
Yeah.
But by spring, we'll have had about 4 or 5 months of those new garments, and it will be not the topic, maybe hopefully like Second Coming and Christianity and being kind and love and stuff, but like the greatest
Peacemakers,
subtopic.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe some of those things, but like greatest subtopic guaranteed April 2020.
So I hope so if it's done the right way. And I think it will be, because if you look at, for instance, For the Strength of Youth pamphlet now,
Mhm.
it does not talk about any specific garment standards. It leaves it up to you and your family and what
Sure.
you think is right and consistent with being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I am welcoming the lack of judgment that we should all have. On the flip side, I am very sensitive, and I feel some, what's the right word? Some, I can't say empathy because I don't feel it myself, but some sympathy for those who in years past have been shamed for what they wore, and an excuse being that you can only wear things that could be worn with garments underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the heavy-handed standards that were applied, particularly to youth and young women, and I can say applied to my own daughters and my own wife, I think that was very heavy-handed and a big mistake,
Yep.
and something that we got over-rotated on like we do on so many different things. And I just feel bad for those that have to make that transition in their mindset.
Yeah. Yep. And hopefully we can
Um,
do that in the kindest and most gracious way.
Absolutely. My last comment on the garments. I have worked my entire career around the retail industry and retail supply chain.
Yes.
It bothers me to no end that the church could not take a professional retail supply chain approach to these new garments.
Yeah.
The fact that they said we're going to send them to to these foreign countries where this is a much bigger issue. I'm sorry, if you live in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, have exactly the same issues as any South American or African country has.
Yep.
With these same things. So that excuse doesn't hold water with me. Number two, why you leak it out to part of the country and you can't do like every other garment manufacturer does and do a big splash.
Sure.
And make them available everywhere. And if there happen to be some shortages, then use back order technology to be able to get it out there. But I think we could take a much more professional approach to what we do with beehive industries and garments around the world.
So let me ask you this about that. Do you think that maybe they were hedging a little bit?
Hedging what?
Like we aren't exactly sure what the response is going to be.
Oh, they knew exactly what the response was going to be.
I mean, I think there's some backlash that I don't know that they anticipated would come.
That's
and so
true.
they sort of trickle it out and go, okay, well, we need to make sure that we manage this a little bit. Whereas if they just would have splashed, it would have been like, whoa.
No, this is all predictable what's coming. They knew when they leaked it out in these other countries. The first thing was if anyone knew anyone in those countries, they were going to be picking up the phone or texting or emailing and saying, hey, can you find me some?
Mm-hmm.
Every person I know has done that.
Yep.
There's already garment arbitrage going on. People buying in those countries and selling in other countries. People are showing up to church with those garments now, and it makes a to-do out of something that could have just hit the whole world if they took a professional approach to such things.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Off my soapbox.
Two gentlemen talking about ladies' underwear.
That's right. Well, and as you pointed out, men's underwear too.
Yeah. Take me to Mexico. Let's go to that story. I want to make sure that we hit that in this time.
To Mexico.
To Mexico. City,
yes. For
West
those
Mission.
that heard, last time we recorded, we didn't talk about this because I think it happened the same day.
Mm-hmm.
But the president of the Mexico City West Mission was shot in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. People broke into the mission president's home and to basically steal from them and hold them
robbery.
up. And he was shot and ended up in the hospital. It sounded like it was fairly serious. His life was never in danger per se. But what's miraculous is he is now out of the hospital as of yesterday and is recuperating at home.
Back home in Orlando, I think, is where he's from. Or is he back at the mission home in Mexico?
I don't know for a fact.
Now, would you go back? Or would
Yes.
you be like, you'd go back, you'd be like,
Absolutely.
listen, I'm healed and now
Yeah.
I'm going back to be with the, okay.
Yep.
Depending
Yeah.
on how far in I was, I'd be like, listen, I gave it 2 years and 7 months. I'm not going back to the house. I would be a little afraid of it depending on how far in I was because
Yeah.
trauma triggers. Could I focus? I would try and
You'd have to read it. You'd have to read it. But I think based on my personality and the way that I kind of deal with trauma, which is in a lot of cases not really dealing with it at all and compartmentalizing it so it can come out a few years later.
Sure.
I think I would head
Shove it
back.
down.
Yep,
Shove it down.
exactly. I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
But recovering. So
he's recovering. No one else was injured. But I'm sure that his wife was traumatized. I guess it's President R. Tyler Wallace. So, Sister Wallace, our heart goes out to you. And President Wallace, we hope you continue to recover well.
for sure. We got a lot of news. We got to get through some of these things fast. In
Do it.
Denver, this is cool. It's
I
literally
love
Denver
this.
being the Mile High City, they decided to do this thing to get out and get people connected with one another. They took table upon table upon table. They kind of secured this mile of a road and just put tables together and said, you sit there with them. Who are you? And it was this massive
Right through
networking
downtown
community
Denver.
event. Incredible.
Yes. I love this idea. A mile long. Heck, if we just went to all of our churches and pulled out all the long tables, we could do this, right?
We got enough chairs.
We got enough chairs to throw out there, although supposedly they're not supposed to leave the building. Wink, wink for those that use them for personal events. But yeah, think of how hard would this to be in any city? Not that you had to do a mile, but you could do a football field, or you could do 3 football fields, or you could do whatever you wanted to do. But the idea of putting these tables together and saying everyone's invited, and sign up to bring food and sit down with your neighbors, and who knows who you're going to be sitting next to, and let's just get to know each other. What a brilliant way of doing it.
And the church participated in it. That's why we're obviously talking about with that.
It was listed on Just Serve, and so lots of church members, including the mission itself, jumped in and let their missionaries volunteer. What a great way to support a super activity.
In Kenya, in Kisumu, Kenya, the church has donated 20,000 mango, avocado, and orange seedlings to this project where I think they're trying to get like 1 million trees. Is that what it is? No, they want to plant 15 billion trees by 2032.
Yeah. When I saw that number, I thought 20,000 doesn't really put a dent in 15 billion, but hey, let's keep donating more and more.
Yep. They're supposed to raise at least 9.1 million seedlings annually, but we don't have the capacity. That's why this kind of support from partners like the church is so critical. It boosts our production and helps us get closer to our targets. What I love about it is it's not only going to help feed the people of Kenya, but also it allows for industry for the country, for people that live there, so that they can raise themselves out of poverty. I think that's such
absolutely fantastic idea for anyone that's connected with Haiti. Haiti has a real need for trees as well. Anyone wants to, contact at the Cultural Hall or call me or write me, I'd be happy to help someone do a similar project in Haiti.
Incredible. Contact at theculturalhall.com. And you can put Haiti in the subject line. And if it's a bad email or you don't like the show, you can also put Haiti, just spell it different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. All complaints requested and welcomed.
Succession or secession beneath the stable edifice of the Mormon Church lies a destabilizing dynamic. This article, I thought it was kind of interesting. Talks about.
Where was this article from? I didn't see the source.
I can find it. Tell me what you thought about this article, and I'll.
Yeah, so I thought 2 things. Number one, they actually did a decent job of getting most of the facts straight. Not all of the facts. If you want to be picky, you can pick a few things. Number 2, I thought they made a huge to-do out of nothing. In the succession plan of the church is very stable now and has been for the last, I'm going to call it 100 years.
Sure.
Very stable. Prior to that, there were some really interesting things that went on with prophetic succession. And so if anyone's interested, there's another podcast that I listen to regularly that did like a 5 or 7 part series on prophetic succession after Joseph Smith was martyred. And it was really interesting to hear all of the different theories and approaches that were brought forward and the people that left the church because their approach wasn't supported. And that's where we come up with the Strangites and the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is now Community of Christ, and many others. So I think they're trying to make a to-do out of something because President Nelson's going to be hitting 101 years here soon.
In less than a month.
And that's pretty amazing. And we've got a 93-year-old waiting in the wings who will likely be the next prophet.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently, and this is like non-attributed, but not doing well. President Nelson apparently not doing very well. which
Yeah,
alive at 101, I feel like that's doing well. So
Exactly.
relatively, like, not
Yeah, I
doing.
mean, think about his level of activity the last 5 years, or the last year even, compared to President Kimball in his last year, or President Hunter, who had some real tough health challenges in their later life.
The president of the United States of America certainly has some sort of impact on the markets and the amount of money that has been made. Those for things like Ensign Peak. What's that? Oh, that's the investor group of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day
Right.
Saints. $6 billion up this last quarter. Hold on, I've got to respond about cleaning the church on Saturday. Give me a second. Yeah, no, I can be there. Hang on.
I'm all in for cleaning the church. I think we need full-time janitors.
Yes. Here and to that point, I'd need to learn some skills, but I would love to be like, hey, that building, I'm in charge of that building. And now I'm not the person to be in charge of that building. The church would make a poor investment, but how cool would it be? Yeah, I was walking by one of the chapels by my house has a softball field,
Hmm.
and I was like, man, I'd love to go out and, I'm making the mound right and bringing and edging and
Yeah.
all this stuff. And
Yeah.
and that's my job.
Mm.
How cool would that be? Oh, hey, the light switch doesn't work. That outlet sparked. The chairs need to
Well,
be
that job
cleaned.
exists. That calling exists today. It's your ward physical facilities representative.
Yeah, but they don't get paid for it.
No, they don't.
No,
Correct.
no. But one person for every building. That's John's building. Verlin does the white building over on
Yep.
4800.
I think we could afford to pay a church salary.
Yep.
You've worked for church affiliated groups previously, so
Sure.
you know how that works. I don't know all the details, but I'm sure we could afford it for each building, and we would have nicer buildings. We would feel better about our buildings. We actually have a couple of buildings here in North Carolina that I don't want to say I'm embarrassed, but I'm close to embarrassed for any friends of the church who come to services in those buildings and see that they aren't kept up as well as we could be keeping them up.
Yeah. I wrote my stake president just this last week, as a matter of fact, because one of our buildings got a new roof.
Hmm.
The other building, they redid the parking lot and repainted the lines.
Yeah.
I said, I just want you to know, I know that you don't really have much to do with this necessarily. Like he probably said, guys, we could use a new parking lot on a new roof, right? Or you had to stamp it, or I don't know the procedure of all this. But I said, I just want you to know it's noticeable and it matters. So for whatever part you played in it, thank you. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I appreciate you saying that. But it does. It makes a difference.
It makes a huge
parking in
difference.
this parking lot, there's a pride of that looks good compared to, this whole thing. How are we doing?
Yeah. In the last, actually, in the last 48 hours, I've been to half a dozen churches of ours here in North Carolina
Braggarts.
because I've been posting the tailgate posters at each one of them, and I have been actually quite surprised. I don't want to say delighted, but quite surprised at how good the grounds are looking.
Yes.
Maybe it's because we've just gotten so much rain here this summer in North Carolina, but they actually look better than they've ever looked before. And in the past, they've looked absolutely horrendous.
Geez.
And connected to another article that we could have talked about, the church is doing a lot more of naturescaping and trying to reduce water consumption. I think doing that and improving our buildings would be great for everyone involved.
Yeah, water smart sensoring and water at some of the buildings, saving like $500 million.
Yeah.
Gallons of water.
Kids aren't playing touch football on the lawns anymore like they used to when you were a little kid and I was a little kid.
Sure.
So put in rocks.
Yeah, put in rocks and invest that
put
money
in
in better
bushes.
Wi-Fi. That's
Well,
where
yes.
the kids they want to stream faster.
By the way, the Apex Stake Center, right next to the Raleigh, North Carolina Temple, which is in Apex, not in Raleigh, by the way. And when I pulled into the parking lot, the Google Fiber van was in the parking lot.
Wow.
I was excited. I hope we get Google Fiber to all of our churches here in North Carolina. That would be
come on.
amazing.
I also like that you were able to get into the 6 churches in your area. And I know that you didn't have a key. You just looked for the window that the deacon propped open so you could sneak in and play basketball. So good for you.
I will neither confirm nor deny that I have any such key that opens any building in Eastern North Carolina.
I know you don't need a key. You just find the door that the deacon left open so he can go play basketball.
You could try.
Don't con me.
One of the buildings recently had the new electronic keys put on them where you
Yeah.
use a key fob.
Yep.
But I found that the kitchen door had not been done that way and still
Yeah, you
worked
Yeah, you
with the
did.
key that supposedly there's a a rumor and a myth that I may have such a key.
Mm. And that was the day he got called in and they asked for the key.
Well, then I'll know who one of our listeners is here in North Carolina. That would be good.
Yeah.
Report me, please. I
Yeah,
want to
who
hear.
was it? Who? If you want to invest like the church does, it's NVIDIA, then Microsoft, then Apple, then Meta. Two types of Google shares, and then Alphabet. You can get into JP Morgan, Tesla, and the tech stock Broadcom if you want to invest like the church does. Would they recommend it? No, but they do it, and they do a lot of it. This is a great episode of Mormon Land. I love Paul Reeve so much. And he and I want to make sure Jenny Hale Pulsifer joined the folks over at Mormonland to talk about one of the early pioneers in the Ogden area and the dynamic that it set up. So Captain James Brown, who was a convert, joined the church in Illinois in 1839. He served several missions for the faith. And as it turns out, his grandparents were African American.
And no one knew this.
And no one knew it.
No one knew.
They thought kind of a complexion thing or some of that. And it is a fascinating episode around the different attitudes towards, in history, they would call it even a drop of blood.
Yeah, the one drop theory.
Yeah, the one drop theory. It is fascinating. It is disgusting on some levels. It is encouraging on other levels as well. It's a really well done episode. And what I love about it is Jenny Hale Pulsifer was doing some research on something else and said, wait, what? And this is something that, we're learning about now. Constantly learning more about with the Century of Black Mormons project that Paul Reeve oversees. Sometimes I think, in the 21st century where we sort of all know it all, but we're making these massive discoveries in our own church history that's occurred in the last 200 years. So
number one, I love that we discover this. Number two, we're sharing it kind of transparently. And number three is showing how messy the early days of the church was.
Yes.
Showing how inconsistent things were applied, as you would expect. Things weren't correlated the same. Standards weren't shared the same. We didn't have the same communication mechanisms. And in this case, you have a family that moved up to Illinois and was baptized. And everyone just assumed that they were, European background like everyone else. And so they received the priesthood and went to the temple and were sealed. And he was a polygamist. I had never heard this about the first Black polygamist, which is awesome as well. And so you throw all of that into one barrel and say, of course, there were going to be inconsistencies and errors. And how lucky are we now to have less of those? But I still expect that we have plenty. And so it's learning from history to hopefully address the future.
Well said. I'm trying to think I'm looking through all of these news stories. We didn't do very much. The church donated $5.1 million to the American Red Cross, which I think is great. Red Cross.
I think we're their largest donor every year.
We mentioned the 500 gallons of water. I'm trying to get some of these quick ones out of the way so we can say, oh man, we did lots of news articles, but I don't want to rush through that.
And we talked about the Fair Mormon conference and ecclesiastical protections and reporting, I think in our last podcast.
Yeah. And that guy, that's too big. All right, well, let's just wrap it as far as that goes. A lot of stuff still. We'll pick up another news episode. I called out the old One Chain, just had his high school reunion. What I deem was probably his first. Berlin puts on his chain. Looks more like a crown there. He had his first reunion from all things that I can tell. And it says, can't believe it's been, wait for it, 10 years since he graduated.
Congratulations, One Chain. I love it. Two Chain.
Yeah, 2 chains. Yeah, you're
chains.
One Chain.
I'm One Chain right now.
And then
I am
Molly,
unchained.
Yeah, Molly the Ash is 3 chains. And then we had the Pharaoh being not only the Pharaoh, but 4 chains. It's too many chains. Also a temple.
And it's
Trap
all
episode coming.
it's all because we admire 2 Chainz. That's why.
Yeah. I hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body,
And if you weren't healthy enough to listen this week, you'll be healthy enough to listen next week.
and that when the time comes, you will be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, go Tar Heels! Chris at Alpine Lakes Travel, Debbie Wanless, Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast, and the Tiger with a U will be saving a seat for you
On the back row
of
the
Cultural
Cultural
Hall.
Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat. On the back row, we read